Olá, eu sou a Débora Oliveira, diretora de conteúdo do IT Forum. Estamos aqui no IT Forum Praia do Forte 2024. Ao meu lado está a Marga Hoek. Ela é pensadora global de sustentabilidade e, além disso, ela também escreveu o livro Tech for Good, um livro que ela também vai lançar aqui no nosso evento. A gente vai conversar um pouco sobre ele também, certo? Marga, thank you very much for your time and having...
pleasure.
And of course, we are having you here. It's a pleasure for us.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here and inspiring to see so many business people gathering around very important topics.
Yeah, that's true. So the first question that I have for you, you had a very good keynote this morning. It was
Thank you.
Very inspiring. And people could read this article in our website,
Yes.
itforum.com.br. So the first question is, what are the challenges and opportunities turning Brazil into, of course, a leader in sustainability globally?
A green powerhouse, I call it. Yes. Well, of course, many people know way more about Brazil than I do. So let me be modest in that.
You know a lot now, right?
In that regard, but I did study and look around Brazil. It's a situation of strong contrasts. On the one hand, Brazil being the fifth nation in the world, being home of 60% of the Amazon forest, being very rich in natural resources, is heavily challenged by climate change, which is causing heavy droughts, floods, added poverty, lack of drinking water, many disasters happening. It's heavily suffering, of course, from deforestation, which is connected to the problem of climate change, obviously, has still educational problems, a risen level of inequality. So there's a number of heavy challenges that Brazil is facing. At the same time, I think there's very few countries, as I mentioned in my keynote, that have such strong opportunities. That's the counter side. And those opportunities are to change things around for the better, to use technology as much as, we can, because it accelerates solutions. It makes it possible to scale them up much rapidly. And Brazil has a collaborative mindset. And I also noticed that when I'm here in the country physically. So the opportunity to combine the power of business with capital and technology to change things around for the better is huge here in Brazil. And Brazil has things going for the country because it already has many innovations, and I showed quite a lot of them in my keynote in terms of what I refer to business for good. For instance, around agriculture, platforms that immediately reduce by 30% the need of water and enhance crops by 20%, hence creating a great business case for both the world and the farmer. It has 7 cities that are already known as tech hubs, and they should become known for being green tech hubs. So challenges, yes, but also huge opportunities to turn things around, not only for Brazil itself, but also as an export product.
Yeah, perfect. And we learned in your keynote that sustainability is being positive, which is a very good way of thinking about it. So what advice would you give to the companies about that?
It's my view. It's not a fact, of course, but it's, I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I have been a business leader, a CEO of several companies. Entrepreneurs and business leaders have to be positive, otherwise they can't create business. But to put that mindset to this challenge is a good thing because positivism makes people move, energizes people, mobilizes people, gets things done. Negativity doesn't. Of course, a crisis moves people, but it's always temporarily. And to have positivism, to look at what you can do and have a can-do mentality. And as a company, don't get paralyzed about the threat of all these challenges, but think, okay, what am I good at? What sustainable development goals, as I use them a lot, can I contribute to? How do I close my back door, mitigating my negative impact? But how do I then open the front door by creating business solutions that actually help? If you do that, energy will flow. You will have innovative ideas. You will get things done. You will attract investors. And I know it's not easy. I mean, the timeline between a first idea and it being successfully executed is around 7 years. So I don't say things are easy. It wasn't in my time as a business leader. It is not now, but it can be done. And there's nothing better to help you than a positive mindset.
Wow. And how can companies make money with sustainability?
It's a business case, as I mentioned, not in all situations. Of course, we still have a tax problem. I shared in my keynote that the average sustainable business case would improve 40% with a changed tax system, as currently we tax labor instead of resources and pollution, which is in fact crazy. But there's a lot of positive business cases. I'm part of the business commission that research the new markets. If there's challenges in the world, there will be new markets because, we have to come up with solutions for things. So things like energy, bio and renewable energy, like resources, like new industry, new green metals, for instance, like health and well-being, like cities, like mobility, all these areas are known to have what I call SDG growth markets. So markets that grow faster than conventional markets. And as a business and an entrepreneur, you want to be part of the future and not of the past. So it's good to tap into those new sustainable growth markets that will only be better in the future than to, linger on with business cases that will phase out in the end.
And last one, tell us a little bit about your book, the last one, Tech for Good. What is the main lesson about it?
The main lesson about that is that despite of all the talk about the negativity of technology, about the threat, about how scary it can be, how dangerous it can be, there's a counter side to technology which is way more important and which should weigh heavier. And that is that the only way we're going to solve our global challenges is with the help of technology. Technology, in a way, can make up for lost time with regards to climate change, health and well-being, all those areas I touched upon. We need technology for that. That's the first message. The second message is the excitement around the fourth industrial revolution, because this is a revolution that has a complete toolkit of technologies, both physical and digital, that we can use like Lego blocks. We can combine them into integrated solutions, how they call it. That has never been possible before, and we can do it now. For instance, that case I gave about the agriculture with the water and the enhanced crop is a combination of AI, robotics, a combination of those tools. So every time you open this toolkit, imagine literally a toolkit, you would open it like every year, you'll find new variations of those technologies. And the message of the book is, it's worthwhile to take notice of all the technologies that are there, because we actually have no clue to the possibilities. And that's why I show, for instance, that we can 3D print coral reefs, for instance, because many people don't know that. That's the second lesson. And the third lesson, which came to me after I actually had written the book, is dare to imagine what you can do. Bring back imagination and the power of imagination, because it's not changing things a little bit. It's not about incremental innovation. It's about radical innovation. It's about, going back to the drawing board and doing things completely different. We build buildings with a different purpose. We want it to be powerhouses to create more energy than they need. We want them to be able to absorb smog. We want them to be green, and give a healthier living environment, etc., etc. Redesigning completely. We need imagination for that. No dullness, but imagination. That's the third lesson. Let me pause at that.
Oh, thank you very much. That was so inspiring. I hope that everyone reads your book.
Thank you, Deborah, for having me here and for this interview. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. E você continua aqui com a gente no IT Forum Praia do Forte, onde estamos falando sobre Revolução Verde. Até a próxima.